Hello there guys, and welcome back to Age of Wonders 3. Let's kick this straight off. Remember last time I was trying to deal with some of the neutral camps and neutral cities over on the right hand side, but also this guy over here that likes to keep going to war with us took that city back, which was his originally, so I can't really blame him, but I want it and I'm going for it. I think he's still around there somewhere because I haven't seen him come back around. I'd certainly see him if he came out on the right hand side, and I haven't seen him come out on the left. Now, he does have his leader there, which is a bit of a pain, but at the same time it did seem like a fairly small army, so we're going to see what happens with that when we can. We need to think about what we're going to research next. Beast Mastery could be useful. The caster forms an unbreakable bond with the creatures of the wild. All the caster's animals and monster units receive mind control immunity. It is a very useful thing. Terraform, I never really bother with the terraforming spells, really. Anything that sort of changes domains, it's not something I've ever really used. Dispel is definitely going to be useful, though, so I think we're really going to have to get that. We do need to get some construction and things going. What do we have over here? This is our dwarf city. Do we really need anything over here? We'll probably get a pool of the firstborn, actually, just so we can get some of those out if need be. Let us get a... Do we need a temple? Let's actually, for the time being, just queue that up with merchandise. I don't really need anything else. So we have a group of units over here. We're absorbing the population. We need to start clearing out some of the nasty things around. So let's get straight on and do that, actually. Start clearing some of these things up. Let's start the video off with a nice little combat round. Now, we did lose a unit, which we will need to reinforce, but we could do with something a little bit more ranged, actually. I don't really like the human archers. They're not all that good. Don't really want to waste spells here if I can avoid it, because I want to save those for the other leader down at that city at the bottom left corner of the map. So what are we going to do? Well, our archers are a little bit out of range, whatever they do. Yeah, we're going to have a range penalty here, which isn't great, but again, it's a 50% penalty, and as I've said before, 3 shots at 50% is only 150, whereas 2 shots at 100% is 200. So getting close enough to take 2 shots at 100%, and that's going to be better. And it does inflict bleeding as well. Can't really get my priests in position to do much with them there, sadly. Let's go around onto this side. They'll probably still have a ranged penalty here. Let's just turn them to face. Yeah, we will get a ranged penalty, but there again, 2 shots at 50% or 1 shot at 100% works out the same. So I'm going to stay at the maximum range, and then that way they should be able to do very little back to me. This is where the problems start to begin, because a lot of the units we have aren't all that brilliant. We should be able to win the fight without a problem. That's not what I am concerned about. Let's just take a shot. We might be able to... Yeah, didn't take them down nearly as much as I wanted. Just trying to protect some of my other units here. Now, I don't suppose you're going to be able to get to anything because I've just blocked you off, really. But we will get you around onto this side, and possibly give us some flanking options later on. So let's end the turn and see what happens. I quite suspect that some of our units are going to take a bit of damage. Hopefully we won't lose one. I don't think we will. Yeah, so units taking a bit of damage, but that's not the end of the world. So you're going to take a triple shot at these guys. That should finish them off. Didn't even need the triple shot. You are going to attack from behind. It's a flanking attack. You'll take a bit of damage back from the retaliation, but you get the kill. And then everybody else is literally going to attack these guys over here. Can't really get close enough, so we'll just take the triple shot with the range penalty. Now, I prefer it if these guys didn't die, so I'm going to just try and move them out of the way and actually use these guys to attack directly. Now, even if we don't kill them off, which we haven't, they're still in the position where they're now engaged, so they can't actually retaliate with their fire with their crossbows, but this should be enough to kill them, and it is. So we did take a little bit of damage, but we're still have all of our units. So that's one job done. The next thing I'm going to have to do, of course, is move down here and deal with this. But in the meantime, let's get back into the city, and we can use that as a safe haven to heal up. And let's have a look. Do we have another unit in the queue? Yeah, we've got some units in the queue. We're just a little bit short on cash right now, which is our big problem. An army requires our orders. Okay, what was I doing with you? I was probably coming down here to make sure that this crafty guy doesn't try and pop out of the other side. And if I'm clever, I can actually pincer maneuver him and actually attack him from both sides. Yes, he is still there. He's building a little bit of an army up, actually, which I disapprove of. But if he doesn't move out until the next turn, I've potentially got him here. So I'm going to leave him be for the time being. And I'm going to take my main army and start trying to deal with some of these sort of neutral cities around here. So let's start by going and clearing out some of the stuff here. They want to run. That is absolutely fine. What have we got in here? 3 relatively weak units. That's fine. Let us pop in here. Can't quite get there, so we might end up dealing with these guys next, actually. Because it's a bandit hideout, and this will continue to spawn these hostile creeps. So we'll probably clear that out and then go and take that on the next turn. You're going to stay there for now. I'm sure I built you for a reason, but I'm not entirely sure what it was. Are you building roads or doing anything particularly useful right now? No, so just sit in there until I decide what I'm going to do with you. Probably worth getting everything connected up with roads when I can. But right now, that is not my priority. So, research. What should we go in for now? Call ancestral spirits. Summons the ancestral spirits of nature to assist in the fight until the end of combat. That can only be useful. So we are going to go for that. Let us have a look down here. Right, is that... Yes, that's his army. He's actually started to move out. He's left a unit in there. He's actually left a few units in there. He's just suddenly got a lot of units from somewhere. I bet you can't get close enough on this turn, can you? No. You can. We really need to deal with him. And this is a relatively decent army. It's a probable victory, but we are going to have to be careful here. And we're probably going to have to use a fair few spells in order to deal with this effectively. He does get to go first, of course, because he is the defender. I'm going to do as much as I can to rely on my ranged units here, and hopefully he doesn't have anything too nasty that can do a lot of damage to them. Luckily, most of the other units that he's got in his little army here are actually quite rubbish, so we should actually have a bit of an advantage here. As most of his units are either melee or range that are really disappointing. So, if we have to blow our spells, that's what we will do. What could we use that is the most useful? Probably the Hornet Swarm, if not everything is resistant to it. There is a bit of blight protection going on here, but we could do an awful lot of damage to an awful lot of units. So, we're going to go for that right now. We also want to try and take his leader out, because if we can do that, then that makes it really, really difficult for him to be able to... he's still out of range. Okay, fine. Then we will just start killing off other units where we can. Right, what are you guys going to do? Poison bolts. Yep, let's start getting rid of things. Ideally, I would like to be able to take his leader out before he has the opportunity to retaliate and do a lot of damage back to me, but we'll take our opportunities where we can. Is it worth me sort of trying to rush in with a unit and doing anything daft? Probably not. Am I going to do it anyway? Probably yes. So, I think what we'll do is we're going to go in behind these guys and flank. We will take a bit of damage back, but that's them significantly weakened. We do have some more guys over here. I think we're going to do the same thing on this side. Because what I'm doing then is I'm splitting up my targets. If he wants to come and attack me, he's probably going to go for one of the closer units, which means I could well lose one of these unicorns, which, you know, wouldn't be fun, but at the end of the day, it's still going to make it a little bit more tricky for him to do anything. I'm going to take my shot here, and hopefully that's another unit gone. Okay, so let's end the turn. So he's already taken heavy casualties. What's he going to do? Oh, he's going for my leader. Okay, so there's one of his units down. There's a second of his units down. Right, now he's left himself in a bit of a position. What do I want to do here? Well, let's worry about these last, and let's go for his leader and do as much as we can to try and take him out. So we're going to take as many shots as we can. You guys are going to... Yeah, you've got to get through these things first. So I think what we're going to do is actually cast a spell, and we're going to go for Fireball on these guys. That's them dead. Wait for the Fireball to clear so I can see what I'm doing. You guys can now use your Poison Bolts. Now, it does have Blight Protection, but every bit of damage helps. In fact, it's still doing quite a lot. And we got him. So we actually won that fight without losing any units, which I'm more than happy about. So what would be great now, of course, is if we can take this city back. It has some very weak units there, so they're not worrying me at all. So we're going to go in. Of course, got to remember now that his leader is also dead, so he can't actually cast any spells. He doesn't have any heroes here leading this army, so there's no incoming spells. We can't cast anything anyway because we're completely dry, but we should be okay. Except, obviously, we've got this very melee-centric unit here, which I really do need to do something about, but what I'm going to do is just literally move everything forwards. Hopefully they'll come out and greet us. We've got the much stronger army here. We do have the Storm Sisters, of course. They can be quite useful. I don't want to move them quite as far forward as I potentially could. Yeah, they're going to stay there, actually. Yep, you guys can stay there as well. And we have some Forge Priests. You can move up and stay behind the Storm Sisters. Face that way. And, of course, we have our leader. Now, of course, this guy can still cast spells. He does have the option to do that. What could we do here? We could just start by smiting something. Let's just go for an instant smite on 50% chance on any of them, I think. And it's the same. They're all the same unit, so it doesn't really matter which one I go for. They did resist, but they took a good amount of damage in doing so. Should have moved him forwards, really, actually. Not done that from the back, but we should be okay. There we go. As expected, they're moving forward so they can start attacking with range. That's not going to do them a lot of good. Just throwing stones doesn't really do all that much damage, to be fair. Okay, so that's all they're going to do on that turn. So let's see what we can do. We're going to start with our Storm Sisters. We're going to take the triple shot here. Didn't do as much as we'd hoped, but we do have our priests. Let's move these guys forwards a little, and we're going to take the shot here. And we got it. Wasn't sure if we would, to be honest, but we did. And what do we have? Well, we could return fire with throwing stones, so let's do that. And let's just attack them with the Boar Riders, because, to be honest, these units are actually quite weak. Can't quite get to this guy, which is very annoying. We're going to get as close as we can. And shield up. You can move forwards. But you can't hit them from there, can you? No, they're out of range. Okay, shield up and end the turn. I get the feeling whatever he tries to do now, he's going to end up in a bad position. Yes, doesn't like the terrain either, so getting a bit of a negative penalty there. So let's just charge you and do a lot of damage to you. Took a bit of retaliation damage there, but I can live with that. Wonderful. So that now means we have our city back. Now then, was there anything here on the ground? Doesn't appear so, which is odd. Killed his leader and he didn't drop anything. Very strange. Okay, upgrading hero. Who is this for upgrading? Oh, this is our main hero. Right, what are we going to have? What would be useful? Spirit of the Land. All units in the hero's army gain 20% holy protection. That could be useful. Melee and ranged attacks can inflict bleeding wounds. Yes, that's actually quite a nice one to have. And let us go for range strength as well, just for when we shoot. And as I said we would, let us go and deal with this bandit camp just to get it cleared. That city's now actually been completely burnt down, which is very, very strange. But anyway, let's go and clear this out first. We can always rebuild a city there if need be. It's easy enough to produce a settler. Obviously this bandit camp does have some defences, but I'm not too worried about that. We don't have any spells we can cast here, of course, which is a bit of a pain. Now they are moving forwards, which I must say is surprising. I thought they'd have just stayed behind the walls. So this is going to give me a bit of an opportunity to take some shots at them. Yeah, they're all out of range though, which is what I figured. But we'll take our shots anyway. You guys can move up and do the same. Now we have Storm Sisters here. I doubt that these girls will be close enough to get anything, but let's have a shot. It's not going to do an awful lot of damage. Still out of range. A lot of penalties there, but we'll do what we can. With a couple of shots. Forge Priests. Probably not an awful lot you guys can do from there. Yeah, you're out of range, as I thought. You can hit them there, though. One shot. It's a bit more damage. And our hero, of course. With a lot of options. Obviously, we've got 2 longbows here. I should probably get rid of one of those. Having 2 of them is a bit pointless. Can we hit with anything? Yes, we can. Who should we go for? Let's see if we can finish you off. Yeah, not at all. Okay. And they're bleeding, so... They're in a bad shape. It's amazing that one crossbow can still do as much damage as like the entire team of crossbows. Right, you're going to go... Oh no, they're not going for the unit I thought they would be. Okay, so we've taken a bit of damage, but we will be fine. We're going to fire at you. We are going to fire at you. Nice and easy. And then everybody else is going to fire at you. And you guys... Brilliant. Okay, so again, took a little bit of unit damage, but didn't lose anything. Which is fine by me. We also got ourselves an Orc Spearman and a Thief's Cowl. Common item that gives us +2 vision range underground, which I'm just, to be honest, going to sell both of those for gold, because we were a little bit short of gold. We do want to rebuild a building here. Now, this is a city that has been raised. If you make a settler... and put a settler on a city that has been raised, you get an instant boost to its size. So that's definitely worth doing. What I'm going to do over here is, as useless as they can be, I'm going to produce another human archer. And we're going to get a shrine, a shooting grounds, and a war hall. You guys, I think, can sit still just for the time being. And then we'll go and deal with this city over here later on. You can stay there for the rest of the turn and heal up. You might as well just camp there. Don't have a city that can produce another settler at the moment. What I will do... See, if, now I've got that city back. See, he's actually currently dead, which is nice. I've never actually realised this screen was here before. Never noticed it, but... as you can see, this guy, he actually likes declaring war. He really is an evil guy. Nobody likes him at all. But he's currently in the void, because he is dead. See if I can make him an offer while he's dead. Apparently I can. So let's send him a proposal while he's in the void, and let us end the turn. And a new day dawns. He's accepted the proposal. We are at peace, again, at least for the next couple of turns, until he changes his mind. This city is going to go through all the usual shrine, shooting grounds, and war hall. These units, are we fully healed? Yes, we are. What do they have here? Not an awful lot, so let's go in and take this first. We've also got a friendly city down there as well, which we might be able to get on board. Now, I don't like this particular map, because it has choking fumes. Spreads mana-infused flames across the battlefield, causing all units on the battlefield to suffocate. Choking units suffer -6 movement, -2 ranged, -2 attack, and -2 defense, and -2 resistance. Dragon Machine, Undead, and Incorporeal units are immune, so it's a bit of a pain, but not the end of the world. They don't have an awful lot here that's going to be able to do too much damage to us. I think I'm just going to throw a Hornet Swarm at them, actually. Yeah, they've got some blight protection. But that's already a fair bit of damage done to them, so you can't really grumble about that. Right, range. Let's see if we can move the range in and finish anything off. Problem is, there's so many penalties here with line of sight. We can take a shot at you. I could do if the camera was in the right place. Brilliant, that's one unit wiped out anyway. What else shall we have? Let's just move people forwards. Get ourselves in a position for a counter-attack if need be. And let's just have everybody. Still got my... It's a really weak army, but... Yeah, that was a mistake on my part putting them there. Those hounds are quite nasty. But it's not the end of the world. Because what we can do is we can heal these guys up straight away. So that isn't a problem. You can't fire your arrows, unfortunately, because of the appalling situation I've left you in. So we are going to a flanking attack with our cavalry. We will take some retaliation. Now our archers are free to attack these guys. 3 shots. Oh, it should have been 3 shots, of course, but they had the retaliation from before, so they were short of 1 shot. That is a pain. Because now I can't actually get to that unit. So what I'm going to do actually is cheat a little bit and take whatever's the least amount of mana, which doesn't really matter, I suppose. And you've got fire protection. So I think we will actually go for the root spears. Does it do enough damage to kill you, even if it resists? So we've won that. So we've got we can try and take this city here, which won't be too bad because there's only 1 unit there. In fact, we're going to do that now on this turn. Because they only have 1 unit there. Now we've got no spells. Our army's a little bit weak. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Independents are moving. We'll probably just... Yep, as expected. So let's start moving forwards as much as we can with all units. Fully expect to take a bit of damage here, but... No one's going to be anywhere near within range. And move the cavalry up. Everybody's where they need to be, so let's end the turn. Now they're probably going to shoot at the priests. Yeah. They always tend to go for the healers. But they couldn't do an awful lot there, so we're going to use our bowmen. And have 3 shots ourselves. They are bleeding now. At least they should be. A few shots with our priests. Hasn't done an awful lot. We can get to them with our cavalry, so let's do that. And they're dead. Nice and easy. So priest took a little bit of a hit there, but that's not the end of the world. So we're going to keep that city, of course. We're going to absorb it into our empire. And it now means, of course, that we're right next to this friendly city here, which should be easier for us to get on board. Army requires orders. I think you're going to stay there for now. Another army requires orders. Right, we've got to the point now where we've actually got enough armies to actually start using them to scout the areas, which is what we probably should be doing now. So we're going to be doing a little bit more exploration. You're going to sit there because I think you need to guard that for a little while. So let's go on to the next turn. So we've had a hero offer to join. Got a little goblin guy here who is a theocrat. We don't have the greatest amount of cash, but, you know, why not? Let's get you on board. And I think what I will do with you is get you up to... Wow, it's miles away. Get you up to here. Because then we've got another friendly. Do want to get a settler built at some point. Have we got anywhere that's close by that we can build one from? Probably not. Again, all the usual places there. What do we have here? Our throne city. Right, yes. You are going to build for us. If I can find one. A settler. And you are then going to build a rider's hall and a Gryphon spire. What do we have here? Okay, let's go for the guardhouse and the stone wall. And let us get you just building... Oh, I was on the right menu to start with. Let us get you just building merchandise. Just put that on infinite for now, actually. Okay, what are we going to do with you? Let's have a little bit of exploration and see what we can find. Because we're near the top of the map. In fact, we are actually at the top of the map here. So a few places that need clearing out. Some nasty stuff up here, including a Watcher and a Fell Horse. That one won't be quite so difficult to clear. We might pop down to that friendly city as well and just see what they're willing to do to join us, or what we need to do to join them. Do we need to clear some of this stuff out? Yes, we probably do, especially if we want to take this as our own little city. They just want to run, so I'm fine with that. So we will do that. These guys... Can't get to them on this turn though, which is a shame, so we're just going to have to sit and wait. And we're using you to explore. These guys should be relatively easy to take out, so let's go and deal with those. And then we can see there's another little neutral city just to the west of where we were. And once again, we are on this awful little map that I hate. Do hate these magma forges. Again, Draconians, not the biggest problem in the world. We'll probably do a Hornet Swarm here. Probably going to be able to hit all of them. So, we'll do what we can. And in fact, I think I'm quite content at this point just to actually end the turn and let them come towards me. They do have some range, but they're not going to be able to do a lot of damage, particularly these hatchlings. They're very, very weak. Are these initiates? Flamers. They're a little bit more worrisome, but still not... they don't have me troubled. Right, actually, have another turn. Come towards me, do your worst. They'll probably get close enough to actually hit me with something this time. And they do have a little AoE attack, but it was never going to do a lot of damage to me, which is why I was quite happy just to sort of bait them out. Okay, fine. So, what we're going to do now... You guys have the most health, so you are our #1 priority. We're going to take you out. And you are nicely removed. You guys are going to move forward as much as you need to attack these guys. Hopefully that should be the kill. And we can just literally charge in with the unicorns and kill that last one there. Perfect. So we used a little bit of our mana and a bit of casting. But that cleared out. And of course we get some gold for the trouble of doing so. Right, these guys are at war with us. Which is fine. Got some elves. They're not particularly troublesome. If they want to attack me, let them. And you are going to stay there. Okay, let's end the turn. Lots of stuff happened. Oh, hang on. What have we got here? Beast Mastery. What should we take? What should we take? Revitalise. The unit's abilities are taken off cooldown and 50% of its movements restored. That could actually be quite useful. I'm going to take it. And also, they've just noticed that they've got this... Oh, that's the other guy. That's Baradir. Where's he taking that? Guarding a little settler. But he's going to pop it up here somewhere just to be annoying. Okay, well, let him try. So, this is going to be a double combat because those two units are next to each other. They're within the 6 hex radius. Now let's remember here, of course, we are against elves, and elves do have a blight weakness, so we're definitely going to be starting off by hitting them with the Hornet Swarm. And of course they just... their army's a little bit split up because they're on 2 different hexes, but that's not much of a problem. Hornet Swarm. In you go. Do a truckload of damage to 3 units before the round even starts. And you know what? Come at me. It's an independent city, so they don't really have any ability to cast spells of their own. They haven't come out to greet me, which I'm a little bit upset by. So I am going to move my archers forwards. Do what I can. Just going to bring my unicorns up for backup. Just going to bring the shaman forward. Actually, let's just get everyone on the front line. Particularly these hunters. You're definitely not going to have the range, but we'll end the turn there. Right, they are moving forwards with their Storm Sisters. Yeah, we should be good here. Okay, that should work out quite nicely. But they Storm Sisters are initiates. Just initiates. That's why they didn't last very long. Okay, that's why they only had 1 hit instead of 3. Did that kill you off? No, typical. Right, that should kill without any retaliation, so we're happy with that. That's 1 unit down, 3 left to go. We are going to use you guys to attack those, because they're quite weak anyway. And we got the kill. Which one of these has the most health? 14 and 9, so we'll do you. You're dead. Now, these guys will have first strike because they're lancers against horses, so they attack first, but I should still get the kill anyway. Brilliant, so that is another city captured. Well, it isn't a city captured because I'm not actually in the city yet, but now I am. So there's another city captured. City awaits its fate. Absorb. Good start. You guys. What are we going to do with you guys? We're going to leave those for now. I don't think they're going to be too hostile. We're going to pop down here. And visit our friendly neighbours if we can. Right, now it's time to deal with these guys. Oh, no, it's him, of course. I keep thinking when I see that colour that it's the independents that are at war, but it's not. That's actually the other guy that's lurking around there. I wonder what he's up to. What do we have here? We have some ruins that are unexplored. We could go and check those out. Though that'll probably be next time because we can't quite get there on this turn. Which is a little bit of a shame. Am I going to do anything with you or just camp you here? I think I'm just going to camp you there for now. He's definitely going to be doing something soon, isn't he? Right, we have a new archer, which was going to be to join this unit, but I think I'm actually going to leave you there, and we've got a hero on our way up, which is exactly where you're heading now. Let's just confirm the movement. Good stuff. That's pretty much all we can do on the turn. So we will end it there, and I shall save and call that a video. So thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying the show. I know sometimes some of the episodes can be a little bit uneventful, but I think once you get to the point that I am now, where you've got several armies, it does tend to be much easier to control a lot more of the map. There's definitely less time spent just waiting for an army to sort of regain its health, and you're just sitting around camping waiting for the opportune moment to strike. And I feel that I've got to the point now where my armies are strong enough to start taking people on, and we're getting more technology, and we've also got our first dragon as well, which is going to be really, really useful for us. A little army of dragons is going to rip the enemy apart. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.